Rejoice and be glad, for your reward will be great in heaven. The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
Today begins Catholic Schools Week, a week in which we celebrate and give thanks to God for the gift of Catholic education in this nation. You know, across our nation there are about 6,000 Catholic schools, including ours right here. And there are 1.7 million boys and girls that are educated in the halls of those schools each day. And I'm sure many of you have had at least a part of a Catholic education, and hopefully you are grateful for that. I certainly did, and I am very grateful for my time in Catholic schools. One of my favorite pictures that I like to look at is a picture of my twin sister and myself on our first day of kindergarten, sitting on our parents' front porch, and we have our uniforms on, our backpacks on, and in our hands we have teddy bears. I don't know what that was all about, but then we have big smiles on our faces, the excitement of something new. And looking back over these past 30 years to that day, thinking about the promise that Catholic education held out, is now a wife and a mother and a teacher herself. And here I am, a priest today, and I probably wouldn't be standing in front of you if it wasn't for Catholic education. So I certainly benefited a lot, and I'm very grateful for it. There's many different ways that we can talk about Catholic education. But today I just want to share with you one definition that I like to use when we speak about it. You say Catholic schools are meant to form the whole person to know the whole truth for the whole of their lives. They're meant to form the whole person to know the whole truth for the whole of their lives. And so I want to go through that today. It forms the whole person. We know that there are many dimensions of the human person: spiritual, physical, intellectual, moral, and social. Sometimes we talk about the mind, the heart, and the will. God gave us our minds to know and to understand truth. And our minds want to know everything about everything. And if you see these little children, so we need to give them what is true. And not only teach them what to think, but also how to think. God gave us our hearts to wonder and to appreciate beauty, not just physical beauty, but spiritual beauty, the beauty of God, the beauty of the soul, the beauty of our Catholic faith, and moral beauty, the beauty of a life well lived, the beauty of a life lived for God. God also gave us our wills to love and to choose goodness. And so we need to teach children how to live, how to grow in virtue, how to seek what is good and avoid what is evil. We know that the charter for Christian living is given to us in the Sermon on the Mount. And today we read that. What a beautiful occasion. The Beatitudes, these are how Jesus lived and how we are to live also. These are the things that we try to form in the whole person. We form them to know the whole truth. Catholic schools are positioned to provide a complete education because we can speak about important things like God and his providential guiding of human history. We can speak about his revelation in sacred scripture and sacred tradition. We can speak about Jesus Christ and his incarnation. What exactly happened 2,023 years ago that we started counting from that date? We can talk about his life and his teaching and his death and his resurrection. We can speak about the church and her impact on society over the last 20 centuries, about the saints and how they impacted human history. And so you don't need me to tell you that all of these things are very important for young minds, young Catholic minds to know. And so we know that public education, by necessity, has to leave these things out. And that makes it, in some sense, an incomplete education. And so parents have the duty to fill in the gaps in their students' learning if they don't receive certain things from school. Also teach them for the whole of their life. Education is not just meant to prepare children for a good job, as important as that might be. we have to look further. Education is meant for the salvation of souls, forming souls for all eternity. And it is meant to help them discern their vocation in life. Maybe this little girl is going to grow up to be a wife and mother. Maybe this little boy is going to grow up to be a priest. And in our Catholic schools, we can help them prepare to live out that vocation. And there's more than that, too. Pope Benedict said that the aim of education is to form a person to enable him or her to live to the full and to make his or her contribution to the common good of society and the church. So to live a full life and to provide, to contribute to the common good. So a Catholic school allows students to interact in what's like a small little society, with other children, their peers, and with adults. And this prepares them for life in the wider society. It is also like a miniature parish where students interact with other Catholics, where they pray together, where they go to Mass together, where they interact with the priest, where they are educated by the priest, taught by the priest. And this prepares them later on for life in the wider parish. And home education cannot adequately do these things, no matter what other benefits there may be. So I'll repeat what I said at the beginning, and then we'll start to bring this to a close. Catholic schools are meant to form the whole person to know the whole truth for the whole of their lives. And that's why they're such a great gift. Now, one last thing today. You might have noticed this mosaic that we have up here. When I was on my trip to the Holy Land, we left Israel and went to the neighboring country of Jordan. And in the city of Madaba, which they call the city of mosaics, we went to this place where they make these mosaics. And this particular place, they employed a lot of people with disabilities because they couldn't do other jobs, but they could, sit at a table and make a beautiful mosaic. And so when I saw this one, I thought, that is beautiful. And what I would like to do is buy that and put it in our school. So I did that, and you should have seen the face of the stewardess when I walked onto the airplane with this thing. Just kidding, it was shipped over here. And there are like 4,000 pieces on this, and I hope you can come up and take a close look and see just how beautiful it is. And I think that our children need to see beautiful things, and this is Christ the Good Shepherd, and think about how much He loves each of them. So I want to read one last thing. It's from St. Paul's letter to the Philippians. This is chapter 4, verse 8, and he says this: "Finally, brethren, whatever is true, whatever is honorable, whatever is just, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is gracious, if there is any excellence, if there is anything worthy of praise, think about these things." And so this image, I think, is lovely, it's gracious, it's excellent, and when the students come to the school, they can think about this. And I hope it will remain for many years for many generations of students to contemplate and appreciate the beauty of Christ and what He has done for each of us. So finally, just thank you for all that you do to support our Catholic school. And if you'd ever like to go for a tour or come and see it, just contact me or the principal, Mr. Arnold, and we'd be happy to show you around and talk to you about it. Please stand.